What's going on, folks? It's Larry of Pack Masters Dog Training. I want to jump right into it here. I got a request to speak about the difference between dog aggression and dog reactivity. And a lot of people chimed in and want to discuss the same topic. And to be honest with you, it's a really broad subject. There's so much you could talk about. And I normally don't have trouble talking, as you know. I could really ramble on when it comes to talking dogs. It's something I'm crazy passionate about and I love to do. And so if someone asks a question, I try to answer it. But to be honest with you, I started this video probably 9 times and I kept stopping it and deleting it because I was rambling on and it was just terrible. And I kept thinking about the questions that were asked inside the question, you know, how I handle the difference between the two, how I approach the dog, how I analyze things, how I deal with the clients. But to be honest with you, the more I thought about it, I really don't do anything different. Okay? I don't do anything different. Every dog I train, whether I do private sessions or I do a board and train, I treat each dog as an individual, you know? And I do everything the same in a nutshell, but I change things here and there for each individual dog. Except for human aggression, of course. If I have a truly human aggressive dog, then I don't do board and trains, okay? I do not do board and trains because, in my opinion, you can't do a board and train with a truly human aggressive dog. Not a reactive dog, but a true human aggressive dog, a dog that will hurt you. Okay, a dog like Bear, the German Shepherd that you saw me do. So with those cases, that I do completely different. I only do private sessions. I do everything from a distance, and I normally don't handle the dog till the 3rd lesson. You guys have seen that in other videos. You've seen how I handle that. Now, when it comes to aggression or reactivity, I don't treat it differently, except for the human aggressive cases like we're talking about here. But at the same time, I don't address that in the beginning. So in other words, let's say we have a dog that is very reactive to dogs. Not truly aggressive, but very reactive. When I start training, we don't address the issues. But again, if we have a dog that likes to chase cats, I don't address that in the beginning. I start the training like I do with every other dog. I build the relationship. I need the communication there. I need the trust from the dog. If I'm doing private sessions, I am educating the owners. I'm spending time. That's what private sessions are. Private sessions are not me just working the dog. Private sessions are more about me working with the owners and giving the owners an education. Okay? So, where the success comes from, and I do have really good success with aggression cases and reactive dogs, is it's not coming from me, okay? It's a small part of what I do. Where the true success comes from is the owners, plain and simple, okay? My success completely counts on what the owners do. So, for example, if I have an aggression or reactivity case, and let's say we're doing 5 private sessions, that's what my private program is, 5 sessions. I probably won't address the reactivity or aggression until lesson 3 or 4, when there's a very strong foundation there, where the obedience is becoming very strong, where the e-collar is conditioned to where it's very beneficial, okay? And let me go back a little bit here. Reactivity, aggression, I do not address it with a prong collar or an e-collar. I do not punish or correct aggression with a prong collar or an e-collar. I get more emails and phone calls every day than you wouldn't believe from trainers that are working with this dog. He's reactive or he's aggressive, this and that, and they put a prong collar on the dog and they give the dog the hardest correction they can, and it's not working. Let me explain something to you. Prong collars are meant to make a dog active. That's why they're so highly used in the sport dog world. They make the dog active. I refuse to have a prong collar on a reactive or aggressive dog. Period. Every aggressive dog or reactive dog that I train is going to have a dominant dog collar on. Period. Little slip collar, or at least a slip lead. I like slip leads, I like slip collars. That's what I use on every dog with those types of issues, all right? Every dog gets conditioned the same with the e-collar. I'm not saying you can't correct aggression. Please don't go there. That's not what I'm saying. But the problem is, I just had a long back and forth email with someone today that had an issue with the dog, and thought he was doing the right thing. He has no bad intentions here, and put the dog in a situation where he was struggling and having issues with a certain subject, and was correcting the dog on super high level, 60, 70, 80 on the e-collar, and it had no effect. And I said, okay, how long have you been training this dog? And it was a few days. And I was like, holy shit, no, that's you don't see me doing that. That's not what we do. People are too quick to jump into the corrections, okay? Now, let me explain this to you. A large number of the dogs, the aggression cases that I deal with, have already been to other trainers, okay? Big percentage of them. So what happens is when you have any kind of aggression, a lot of these dogs go away, do a board and train in a trainer, and they set the dog up, they put an e-collar on the dog right from the start, and when the dog shows any signs of aggression, they light the dog up on the highest levels to correct that behavior. Guess what? That doesn't work. That never works. That never will work. So then when I get the dog, I don't only get to fix the behavioral issues, the aggression, now I have to fix the bad e-collar work. And this is weekly, guys. I'm seeing this nonstop. So before I go on rambling too long, and I don't know if this is going to help the people who ask me about handling reactivity and aggression, I don't really do anything different. I train the dog. I train the dog to the highest level possible. Obedience and behavior are two different things to me. Of course, we're going to do the obedience training. You have to have really strong obedience. The stronger the obedience, the easier everything else is. But for me, a big focus is on the behavior. And that behavior is created in the home. How you live with your dog. How you live with your dog dictates how your dog lives with you. Period. And so I can't have success with these dogs if I can't educate the owners. Because in all the years I'm doing this, guys, I have never gone into a home to work with a dog that has any kind of issues, especially aggression issues, where everything in the home is right. People make mistakes. They do what they think they should be doing, but it's never right. The average person doesn't understand dog behavior. The average person doesn't understand dog psychology, and it creates this barrier of frustration and the lack of communication between the owners and the dogs. So when you educate the owners, okay, here's the important part. As a trainer, you have to educate the owners. You have to go into that home and see what's going on in that home. It helps to see the dog in its natural environment. See what the dog is doing. See what the owners are doing. When someone drops a dog off for me, within 30 seconds, I usually know how that relationship is. It's pretty easy to see. Okay, so it's not just about obedience. It's not just about tools. It's the totality of the situation. You have to put everything together, guys. But I tried to come up with a real educated answer for the emails I got on this subject, but the truth is I don't do anything different. If I do something different, it's because I have to, and so that happens as I'm training, and I see, okay, maybe this isn't going to work. I need to do this with this dog, but I don't have a plan. I don't really have protocols, so to say. I don't even like that word, because I treat every dog as an individual for the most part, okay? For the most part. So if you ask me questions about this subject, specific questions, then I'll try to answer them. I will try to answer them. But to answer this on a broad subject like that, how I deal with aggression and reactivity, I don't deal with it any differently unless I have to. Okay, and so in this case, the truly human aggressive dog, which there's not a lot of them out there, guys. There's just not that many. There's a lot of reactive dogs, believe me. Those guys I handle differently, but you guys have seen how I handle them. Everything else I just go about. If I have a dog that's reactive to dogs, that dog's never going to be around a dog. Let's say we're doing a board and train. Let's say I'm doing a 3-week board and train. For the first week, week and a half, that dog's never going to see another dog. Okay, I'm going to be that dog's world. That dog is going to learn to trust me, to love me, to bond with me, and we're going to work the obedience, and there's going to be already a pretty high level of training there before he sees a dog. Because when he does see a dog, if I do have to guide him in any direction, it has to have some meaning. So when you do that in the front, and when you do that in the beginning, it doesn't have much meaning. Okay, I mean nothing to that dog. There's nothing there. The understanding's not there. The communication is not there. The training is not there. When you do it, once that foundation is there, then it has some meaning, and it goes much, much further, and you'll never have to go extreme as high as you would in the beginning. All right? So I don't know if this is going to help. I hope it helps a little bit, but after you see this video, if you have more specific questions about aggression and reactivity, just go ahead and comment in it and let me know, and we'll try to answer them. Okay, we'll keep on answering the best we can. So I hope this helps. Thanks.